Hello everyone, I'm Natalie and welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about the Capricorn moon. I know a few people with their moon in Capricorn, and something I've noticed about this particular moon sign is that these people always appear to be fine. Like they always appear to be either happy or just chilling. They don't ever appear to be in like a emotional crisis or, like they don't have their shit together. And I think that they appear this way because a Capricorn moon doesn't really open up to people. They don't really express emotions. And it's not that they don't have emotions, because I think that Capricorn moon people are a lot deeper than people think or that they even let on. Like their thoughts, their inner being, they have more depth than you realize. I just think that it's so held within them. The moon is the deepest part of you, and it's the side of you that really only like people that you live with will ever really see, and maybe not even then, because it's really how you are when you're alone. But I think people that you live with, like your family or your partners, whoever you live with, like they can see your moon sign because when you're at home you're the most comfortable, hopefully, so you just like let yourself out, like you express yourself freely. But a Capricorn moon, it's like even living with them, you don't really get to be a part of their inner world, if that makes sense. And since the moon represents the mother, I think that a lot of this had to do with your upbringing. I have a cousin who has a Capricorn moon, and he's the oldest child of his family. I mean, not every Capricorn moon obviously is going to be the oldest child, but I do think that the way a Capricorn moon is raised, they kind of are given a lot of responsibility from very young, like from the start. And I think when that happens to people, they kind of grow up with like this sense of having to be the mature one, having to be strong and capable and structured. And you were kind of looked at as someone who could take on a lot of responsibility, as someone who could be almost like a leader in a way. Not like a leader like Aries, like all with a bunch of energy, but just kind of like, let's give this responsibility to you because we can see in you that you can handle it. And depending on the rest of your chart, you might not have been able to handle it as well as other people thought that you could. And I think that's what happens a lot with like a Capricorn moon. You could have had a really good childhood, but maybe like deep down you felt like you couldn't really just be a kid and have like no worries, no stress, just be like a happy little kid playing all the time. Because maybe something within yourself or your family or like your mother, you felt like you had to take care of people. Like maybe you looked at your mom as someone who you had to take care of, like you had to support her in a way. Maybe your mom has a very like young kind of mindset or personality or attitude or something, and because of that it was like reversed, like you had to be the parent almost. Not all the time, again. And maybe it wasn't with your mom, maybe it was like your siblings or something, or maybe your dad left and you did have to like help your mom be a single mom and do everything on her own. You were given some kind of responsibility and it grew you up maybe a little bit quicker than you would have liked. And when this happens, a person doesn't really know how to process feelings, process emotions. The way you see feelings, you see them as just something that you need to structure and organize. And that's not a bad thing at all. I really don't think so. I think that's a good thing about the Capricorn moon. But what happens with that need to structure You don't let yourself truly feel what it is you're feeling at any given moment. It's almost like you can become critical of yourself if you feel any emotion, or if you feel sensitive to things, or if you worry about things. Like, you can be very hard on yourself. And I don't think, because I have a lot of Capricorn energy myself, I don't think that being hard on yourself is necessarily a bad thing, because I feel like the way Capricorns do it in their minds, they are doing it to push themselves to be better and to be greater, and that is a good thing. But it takes years for Capricorn moons to make it to where it's like constructive criticism for themselves. And the world is already hard on you because your inner being is ruled by Saturn. If your inner being is Saturn, it's really you doing it to yourself. You beat yourself up a lot because you want to be able to handle like all of the problems around you, and you have to realize that sometimes you need help too. Like, you need to give yourself space and time to process things and to really feel. And you don't let yourself, because chaos and not having structure really scares you. Because Saturn is like beating it into your brain that you have to be structured and perfect and stable and capable. Like, you always have to be just like a rock. So when you feel anything, it can freak you out because you feel like the walls that you have built will come crashing down, and that scares you. It scares you to be vulnerable. And something that I've learned is the healthiest thing that we as humans can do is let ourselves feel emotions. It really is. It sounds weird, but it's true. You have a very complex inner world, but you don't share it. And because you don't share it or let yourself feel these things, it's almost like you don't really understand it either. So I think, growing up with a Capricorn moon, like when they're young, any little thing can really like bring them into a great amount of distress, because it's like they can't have anything shaking up their world. They can't have anything like out of structure, out of this structured mindset that they've created. And again, going back to your upbringing, maybe no one was really there to help you through those rough times or really nurtured you in your deep emotions. Or maybe they looked at you like, oh, you'll just get over it, like you'll be fine. But really it's like, I'm not fine. Like, what do I do? Someone help me. And maybe you were just like left alone a lot. And that's another thing is with the Capricorn moon, because Capricorn is the 10th sign, so it's like number 1, because 1 + 0 is 1. You kind of have to go through all of this shit on your own, and it's sad, and you are kind of always plagued with this feeling of loneliness, this deep feeling of loneliness. I mean, you could have like a good support system, but because you're just so kind of closed off, you still feel like you're going through all of your issues by yourself, and you don't have to. You really don't. You just have to find ways to open up. And it's going to be hard because Capricorns don't like to be vulnerable. So if your emotions are all Capricorn, you're not going to enjoy vulnerability. You're not going to feel comfortable expressing yourself. The good thing, though, about all of this is when you are able to feel the things that you're feeling, and when you allow yourself to feel them freely and give yourself space, like hold space for yourself so that you can nurture yourself, you can work through it and build within yourself, build this like wisdom and this power within yourself to where you can take on anything and nothing will feel like it's crazy around you or chaotic or like you have to be in control all the time. You'll just, that's when you'll really be like a solid rock, and like shit will just be thrown at you and you'll just be like, I can take it. And with this comes the ability to also take on other people's emotions, and people might come to you because you have this energy where you are just like so strong and supportive. And I really like Capricorn moons because of that. You are highly ambitious. You dream of success. And success could be anything to you. Usually it's something, you know, because it's Capricorn, it's usually something related to work and authority and power and money. But just know that even if you don't get these worldly things like the money or like a specific job, even though you are ambitious to do that, and you know, should always strive for your dreams and your goals, you can still be successful within yourself. Just take time to realize how far you've come and realize like how much you've built within yourself. That's what Capricorn does. They build on top of things. They make what is like messy into something solid, and you keep building like solid rocks on top of solid rocks. And what I mean, I feel like only Capricorn moons can understand this, is like your emotions, your emotional processes. You are able to form them into something that helps you grow and mature, like some kind of wisdom through it that will help you grow and mature, and you just keep building from there. And that, to me, is really powerful, and that is successful because you have mastered yourself pretty much. Failure really, really scares you, but just try not to be so hard on yourself or so critical of yourself when you feel scared or when you feel anything. Because you're kind of able to move mountains within yourself with your emotions and through your emotional processes, through like the times when you are processing things and being introspective. You can really accomplish a lot within yourself because you're driven to do it. So that's the Capricorn moon. I hope that you like it, and thank you for watching.